Hello my friends, so Dead by Daylight's 8th year anniversary is incredibly close, and with that we know a lot about the next upcoming update. And to be honest, the anniversary patch shouldn't be shit, because this is the beginning of the new Dead by Daylight's year. With that out of the way, I have to tell you that for me personally, this update is looking very disappointing. And it's not like we are not getting anything cool, we are getting a Dragons and Dungeons chapter which it's just sad that there are so many Dead by Daylight players who have never played Dungeons and Dragons, just like me, and we are not really excited for this chapter because we have no friends to play this board game with. But every single Dead by Daylight player has played with his cock, so why not add Johnny Sins to Dead by Daylight? I hope developers are watching this video. But anyway, in this video I'm gonna analyze the new patch notes that we got, and I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I think that this update sucks, which is weird to say because it looks like I'm very negative about this game, considering that I already made a video that the last update that we got was trash. And yes, in my opinion, the last update that we got was trash because we didn't even get the twins rework. Basically everything that they promised was scrapped and reverted, and that update was disappointing. But this upcoming update is bad for different reasons, and I'm not gonna talk about the upcoming chapter, Dungeons and Dragons chapter, because it's not related to this update problems that I'm gonna talk about, so let's just dive into this video. But before that, if you want me to come on your mom's titties, then don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's start with the changes for the killers. So Chucky. They decreased Hi-De-Ho cooldown to 12 seconds, it was 18 seconds. It's a buff, right? You can use his power more frequently because the cooldown is shorter, so in my opinion it's a great change. I love Chucky and I find him fun to play. But look at this, Chucky can only scamper while performing a slice and dice attack. It means that even though you have your power activated, you cannot scamper under the pallets, and this mechanic made this killer extremely fun to play, and in my opinion removing this kinda removes the fun from Chucky. Yes, you can still go under the pallets while using slice and dice attack, but why the fuck would you do it? Because if you scamper under the pallet while using his slice and dice attack, you are extremely inaccurate and Survivor can just turn left or right and you're just gonna go like straight. So this is a big nerf for Chucky, and in my opinion this was not necessary. In my opinion Chucky was not overpowered. He is a very frequently played killer, maybe his play rate is much higher than most other killers, but in my opinion so many people play Chucky just because he is a fun to play killer, like legitimately fun to play killer, the only third person perspective killer, and I love Chucky actually, it's very fun to play as Chucky, but apparently he was too strong, which is like, what the fuck guys? This literally removes the fun from Chucky. Yes, and also they decreased the time it takes to scamper to 1.3 seconds. It was 1.4 seconds, so it was 0.1 second longer before. This doesn't mean shit. Okay, let's move on to the cannibal. They buffed the cannibal. They have incorporated some of his add-on strength into his power, and in my opinion this was not necessary. I can understand why they buffed cannibal, because nobody really played cannibal before. Yes, there are people who are hardcore mains of this killer, but when I play Survivor I don't really get to play against many cannibals, and maybe developers wanted to increase his play rate. But in my opinion this just makes this killer overpowered and out of balance. I'm wondering how this killer will work after this patch. It says that it's a minor update, but some of these changes are pretty strong in my opinion, and this might make the cannibal a little bit too frustrating to deal with. So far not good. The Death Slinger, minor update. They buffed the Death Slinger and it's great. but not by much. It's actually a really minor update, so let's ignore this. The mastermind, Albert Wesker, has been nerfed. Like, why? Why? I'm starting to think that developers want to nerf every single killer that people enjoy playing. Because everybody wants to play Chucky and Albert Wesker. Like, I see these killers in my matches very frequently. And now they are getting nerfed. Who is next? The nurse is getting nerfed or what? I don't really like this. They decreased hindered penalty from infection to 4%, it was 8%. And infection is now reduced to 1% when hooked. It was 50%, so think about that. From 50% going down to 1%. Yeah, it is a nerf. It is not a slight nerf, but yeah. Apparently they're calling it a minor update. The Blight, they are just like changing his add-ons again. They are constantly going between like buffing his add-ons and nerfing his add-ons, buffing again, nerfing again, so whatever. Toolboxes, actually developers decided to increase toolbox sabotage speeds, and I think it's a great change. I don't have anything against it, but the only problem is that developers are nerfing so many killers and they are buffing the survivor items, so survivors have more of a power to annoy the killer and bully the killer, in my opinion. In my opinion, it is very frustrating to play killer these days because of skill-based matchmaking system, and this patch makes it even more frustrating because take a look at this. Let's see how many gen regression perks are getting nerfed in this update. Deadlock. I think that this counts as a gen regression perk because it buys killer some time. It's getting nerfed. Let's see. Pop goes the weasel. Pain resonance. These perks are getting nerfed and it's not good. It's not good. Let's see what changes. So deadlock decreased block duration to 15, 20, 25 seconds. It was 20, 25, 30. It's a nerf for a perk that was pretty frequently used. I can understand the reason for them to want to change it, but it was very frequently used because gen rushing is a legitimate problem in Dead by Daylight. And these nerfs that I'm gonna talk about right now, they make the gen rushing an even bigger of a problem, you know? Background player is getting a medium update, decreased movement speed bonus to 150%, decreased exhausted duration, you know? I have never used this perk, so I'm not gonna talk about perks that I don't really use. Grim Embrace, decreased block duration. Bro, I don't remember using this perk, and I don't think this was necessary, you know? Like, they're literally nerfing so many gen-related perks in this patch. Decisive Strike, reduced stun duration to 4 seconds, was 5 seconds. So, in the last update, they buffed this perk, they added 2 seconds for survivors to stun the killer. I mean, the stun lasts 2 seconds longer than before, and now they're kind of bringing it down, so the last patch was kind of useless. Pop goes the weasel, decreased regression effect to 20%. This is a 10% of a nerf, which is huge. It was 30% before. I mean, Pop goes the weasel. It's a very useful perk, but you have to manually go to the gen and kick the gen. Keep in mind that you cannot kick the same gen for more than 8 times in a match, and sometimes you just reach that limit and you want to kick more but you can't. Perks like Scorch Hook, Pain Resonance, it can work up to 4 times if you hook 4 different survivors, and Pop Goes the Weasel usually helps with that problem, so you can have an additional perk to help you with that. This was a very, very unneeded nerf. Pop Goes the Weasel was proven to be very strong, they say. Bro, I don't agree with this. Even when I play Survivor, I go against killers that use Pop Goes the Weasel, I'm perfectly fine with that. The fact that the killer cannot kick the same gen for more than 8 times, was a pretty decent nerf, and I'm all for it. But this is unnecessary. Buckle Up is getting a major update. Buckle Up is no longer provides endurance. Survivors healed from the dying state break into a sprint at 150% movement speed for 5 seconds. This does not cause exhaustion. So Buckle Up is still gonna be a useful perk, probably still gonna be a meta perk, but it's not gonna be as much used as it was before. And I'm okay with this change. Actually, I need to try it, but I was never a big fan of Buckle Up. So Scorch Hook Pain Resonance. Again, they decreased regression effect from 25 seconds to from 25% to 20%. Why? Why would they do this? You can only use this perk up to 4 times. 4 times. You need to hook 4 different survivors on a Scorch Hook, not on any hook, but on a Scorch Hook. It's a challenge by itself. I don't know. They buffed invocation weaving spiders, but in my opinion, it's not buffed enough. They would need to buff this perk more to make it actually useful. I don't know. I'm not gonna use it anyway. Probably the coolest change in this update is reworked lightning of the Shattered Square map. I did not like this map because of the lightning before. It was red and kind of hard to notice scratch marks in this map. I don't know if I was alone, but I think I wasn't alone because they decided to change the lighting of this map, so it's great. It's great. They also reworked the pop-up for items. This is cool for beginners, but not for the person like me who has 3,000 hours in the game. And that's it. That's for the update. It's basically a bunch of unnecessary nerfs. A few buffs that are okay, but for example, the buff for I cannot open it right now for some reason. Chucky, the nerf for Chucky is very unnecessary. So comment your opinion on this update. Personally I'm disappointed, but it's just my opinion. And let's see what developers have been cooking for the next year. See you later. Bye.